Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we got this SmackDown review. Obviously, we know SmackDown started at 8 a.m. this morning. Unfortunately, I did sleep through it. Give me a round of applause, would you? So, how things went here was we were sleeping, right? We went to sleep at around 2 o'clock in the morning and forgot to wake up and mostly forgot to set my timer to wake up at around like 7 so I could watch this show and get my notes down. So went back and rewatched it. Obviously 8 o'clock, USA was streaming it again in the US. So went back and rewatched and everything and found out all the things that happened. Got spoiled many times throughout the day. And one thing I do want to shout out. Obviously, this doesn't happen a lot. Matter of fact, it's never happened. You know, we had our first supporter meet me in person at the Easley Cinema, so you know who you are. But big shout out because that was my first supporter I've ever met. So shout out to y'all because y'all are insane. It was really cool to meet y'all, and I was super excited. So get that. There we go. But SmackDown was really cool tonight. I loved how we made things. I love how things went. So let's get into it. We opened up the show with a great great cinematic of the Crown Jewel titles being loaded up and unloaded in Perth. So that was really cool to see. We know Rollins and Cody's going to be fighting for those titles, and as well as Vaquer and Stratton. So that's going to be cool to see. So I'm excited to see who walks out with those titles, but also many people were like, oh, what's happening here? What's happening here? I don't think people understood that last year we got this same unloading footage, but just like a different cinematic. So I thought it was still cool, but yeah. So turns out we get deeper into the show, and I look at the announcers table whenever Cody Rhodes' segment is on, and we still had the main event logo banner on the announcers table. That's pretty embarrassing. I mean, I thought that was pretty weird. Obviously, main event, they do that before SmackDown. So it makes you wonder, because I don't think WWE would make a mistake like that. So do you think they forgot the SmackDown banner in the US? I don't think they would do that. I think that they would definitely load it up in a truck or something and bring it. But it makes you wonder, right? I don't know. I don't know why they didn't change the main event logo. I did not see if they changed it. I hope they did, but it did not catch my eye that they changed it. So let me know in the comments if they did change it throughout the show. But all I know is during this Cody Rhodes segment, it was the main event logo, so that was pretty weird. But Cody Rhodes would open the show with his Crown Jewel title ring that he won last year, and he would come out with that ring, and he would say that, or Michael Cole would actually say that Cody Rhodes is in the head of Seth Rollins going into their match at Crown Jewel due to SmackDown this week. Obviously, we know Cody got the advantage on Rollins this week. We know we saw Rollins not listen to Heyman and run after Cody, where Cody would get the advantage, hit him with the crossroads. So that's interesting. Obviously, that's playing a huge part. Cody being the head of Rollins is going to play a huge part in the rivalry. I think that after Crown Jewel, this rivalry is not going to be over, but I think it kind of has to end, right? I think the rivalry has to end because they're both champions. Neither one of these guys can lose their championship at Crown Jewel, so it's not like that anything on the brand's going to stop. It's not like there's going to be a tournament for a title or anything like that. It's just for the Crown Jewel Championship. But I think Cody and Rollins, their match, definitely has a bigger history than Tiffany and Vaquer. Tiffany and Vaquer they've never faced, but it's going to be still a very cool match. We would see Cody say that trying to take over WWE is the start of your downfall. So I pictured this as him talking to Rollins because that's what he was doing most of the time. Obviously, Rollins was not out there, but it sounded like he was talking to Rollins. So he said, trying to take over WWE is the start of your downfall. Rollins obviously bringing in Paul, Bronson, Braun. Paul's been a big part of that, but Rollins said that everything goes through him. So I don't know. I think that was definitely directed to Rollins, but is this the start of Rollins' downfall? Is that saying Cody's going to win 2 years in a row? I hope not, but I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it. Cody would then go on to mention Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, and he said that he was even talking about superstars like CM Punk. So, mentioning all those, he said before he clarified that these names do not mean anything. So, just a list. But I mean, I was on board with the Randy and Roman until he said Rhea Ripley, and I was like, so he's just talking about everybody. But yeah, that was pretty cool. And then to end the promo out, he said that he has to be the guy that Seth Rollins can't beat. So that's saying that, yes, Rollins can be this dominant guy on Raw. He can make history. He can do everything like that. But at the end of the day, Cody can sleep well at night knowing that he never got beat by Rollins. So that's kind of where I think that Rollins is going to win, for sure. I think after what Heyman said to Rollins on Monday Night Raw, he has to win. If he don't, there's going to be some real drama all over WWE, because the vision now is really both brands, and they're going everywhere. We know they main evented SmackDown last week, and we know they main evented Raw this week. So they are on a hot streak of main eventing. So I think that's going to be something we're going to definitely play around with. Sorry, I'm trying to put the lights back on. It is something that where I try to put up there every time just to make the lighting better. But obviously, sometimes that don't work. But we saw here Cody say he has to be the guy that Seth Rollins can't beat. That's how he's going to sleep at night, knowing that Seth Rollins never beat him. So that was a very cool way to end the promo. We would see Chelsea Green congratulate Stephanie Vacquer backstage and offers her a spot in the Secret Service and said that she would never give this opportunity to Tiffany Stratton. Stratton would walk up, Chelsea would excuse herself, and we would see Tiffany and Vacquer have this awkward stare down once again, but then Vacquer would retrack her steps and say that the best woman will win, but tonight they have to be on the same page, and they got each other's back. So that was cool to see. Definitely not needed, but I think that the only thing we needed here was for Chelsea Green to hand out this. But it makes you wonder for sure, because they're putting Chelsea Green and Alba Fire on TV every night. Obviously, Alba was not in this segment, but they're putting them on TV, on Raw, NXT, SmackDown. They're putting them everywhere, handing out these flyers to different superstars. So something has to stick. Something has to be important. So we have to be looking out for something here. I think that them showing them every week and them handing out these flyers means something. So now you wonder, who's the person that's going to be stepping up to them? You don't know, but I'm intrigued to see who does, because I thought that Vacquer was going to be a good person to do it. Obviously, we know Vacquer has been trying her best to get her English fluent, but I think that Kiana James would be a good mouthpiece for Vacquer if she does end up turning heel someday. I think that Vacquer right now, she can't turn heel. And I think that Vacquer cannot have a good build-up to any of her matches without a speaker or a mouthpiece. And I don't want her to walk around with a translator. It's just not how it works. But she's definitely messing up some of her words, but I don't want to play bully ball on any of that, because that's not... She's trying her best, and obviously that isn't her first language. So she's trying. She said she's getting classes in the interview with CVV. So I think that's like next year she's going to be really, really, really good. But I just hope that's not a reason that Hunter take the title off of her. I just hope that's the case. But we would see Jacob Fatu call his shot at Cody Rhodes' title backstage until eventually Cody would say that he'd be ready. Drew would attack Jacob, and we would see Jacob attack Drew. Nick Aldis would announce that match will be next week. I think that we definitely could have stretched it out a little bit more. I think the feud could be good, but I think that Jacob Fatu, he's back, and he's... I wouldn't say the most dominant he's ever been. He looked really strong in the Bloodline, but I think that right now he looks super strong, super great, and I think that they're going to do a lot more with him right now than he was in the Bloodline. So I think he's going to win his second championship. Obviously, him formerly winning the United States Championship and the tag titles, really, because they got handed down to him. But I think that him calling the shot at Cody's title is huge. That tells fans that they're setting their eyes on the main event position for Jacob Fatu, which is a huge sign. Due to him being out, you didn't think that he would rise up that fast, but he's facing a high-caliber star in Drew. So I hope that he wins next week, but if he don't, it's going to be interesting, but I still have faith that that Jacob Fatu is going to pull through, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with him. We would then see Sami Zayn's Open Challenge. It was the time everybody was waiting for. I love these Open Challenges. I think they're so great, and I think that Sami Zayn is going to go down in history as one of the greatest pro wrestlers in WWE history. just because of this open challenge and the stuff that he has done over his career. I think that him being the underdog in almost every storyline and him pushing through in almost every storyline, WrestleMania 39, defeating the Usos, pretty much starting the crumble of the bloodline if it already didn't start by then. And then we would obviously see Sammy beat the odds against Gunther at WrestleMania 40. So that's 2 straight WrestleManias of beating the odds. And then we get to now, he's the United States champion. He's defending the title every single week. And I like how Cole pointed out this, or Wade. I don't remember which one pointed it out during tonight's episode, but we saw one of the reporters say that Sammy is such a dominant champion because he goes into these matches week in and week out not knowing who to prepare for. So I thought that was a very good line from, I believe, Cole, but it could have been Wade as well. But yeah, I think that was a very good line, and I'm glad that they clarified that this ain't easy to do. Sammy's still having to prepare for a superstar that he doesn't know who it's going to be every week. So I think that was cool. We would see it be Shinsuke Nakamura after weeks of lurking in the background and backstage segments. He's finally here. And what really shocked me, Nakamura came out and they started to roll around in the ring, getting the match going, and the crowd was cheering for Nakamura. So that's interesting. I think that we're not going to know this. I just hope. My main thing watching this match was I was hoping that Triple H doesn't see this and say, they want him, let's put the title on him. That's not what we should do. I think that there's something building up that's huge with Nakamura and Sammy. Obviously, we saw Cole point out that this is the eighth time that they've faced, but the first time they faced where Sammy didn't know he was going to be his opponent. So that was huge there. But also, what was the biggest thing about this was the crowd cheering on Nakamura. But after weeks of lurking in the background, or after weeks of being seen in the background, makes me think that there's something way bigger than just a match. I think that they have big plans for Nakamura to win that title. I just think now's not the right time. But what I was hoping is that Triple H would not see the crowd reaction of Perth and say it's going to be the same in America or same in our normal crowds, and we go back to our normal crowds and the fans aren't really feeling Nakamura. I just hope that that's not the case. Obviously, the last time we had a United States Championship run from Nakamura, it was good. Obviously, the feud with LA Knight, but I feel like it was not what we were expecting at all. The matches, yes, were good. They were main eventing SmackDowns, but at the same time, I didn't really enjoy the run that much. So I think that this time, if we get another run from Nakamura, it better be worth it, or else I'll be really disappointed that they fumbled him again. But we would see Sammy roll out the ring before he could get pinned by Nakamura after he hits the Kinshasa. So I think that was pretty cool. Sammy using his in-ring awareness, which Cole pointed out as well. Cole was on point tonight. I hope that carries on to tomorrow because the announcers do and help so much in these rivalries and storylines that you can't even catch that he points out. So obviously giving that lob to WWE to just put it in, very good. And we would see Sammy put his foot on the rope again whenever Nakamura would get him in the ring, hit him with another Kinshasa, and he would put his foot on the rope to save himself. But as soon as Nakamura would get out the ring, we would see Tama Tonga return and attack Nakamura, where we would see JC Mateo, Tala Tonga, and Tonga Loa all rise up on the ropes and return. We know Solo has had these insane video packages over the span of a couple of weeks, and I believe even at least 2 months. But we've been seeing video packages and everything like that pretty much ever since Jacob Fatu left the Bloodline or the MFTs, and so now it looks like that WWE has fully rebranded the MFTs. We know they all showed up in face paint, but I did get leaked on that as well. I didn't get leaked on the video of it, but I did get leaked on the picture or the photo that Tama Tonga posted saying I am back with the face paint. So I kind of got leaked there. Didn't really know what he was talking about, but I thought that either it was something that he was going to do or something that he already done on SmackDown. So it was cool to see it be relived tonight. But can't lie, I definitely did get my hopes up whenever I saw him show up without the MFTs at first, whenever he first attacked Nakamura. Just because I want so good for Tama Tonga. I think he's one of the best. He's definitely the funniest out of the group, besides Solo, obviously. But I think that, man, I just want to see Tama go on his own, man. I thought that it was a really high chance of him being on his own, but then I saw him attack them and then go after Sammy, and I was like, obviously the history of Solo and Sammy that they've been going through, Solo would eventually show up and we would see them stand tall. But I think that's pretty weird too, because obviously we see Cody backstage and getting told by Jacob Fatu that he's coming for the title. So that's obviously putting a target on Cody's back. And then Sammy getting attacked by the Tongans, as well as Shinsuke Nakamura, and being lurked every week, stalked every week, puts a title on every champion's back. So that tells me that we're probably going to see more people show up in the shadows of many backstage segments, which makes SmackDown like literally must see for future storylines and real WWE fans that pay attention. So I think that was very good. We would then see Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Vauquer take on the team of Kiana James and Julia. This is the first time Kiana and Julia have been in the ring together. I believe they may have faced the Secret Service and Chelsea and Alba, but I believe it was just one-on-ones. But both teams shared the ring accordingly in this match, both having pretty much the same amount of time in the ring, from Tiffany to Vauquer to Kiana to Julia. It was perfect. In the end, Stratton would pick up the victory for her team by hitting the world's prettiest moonsault to Kiana James. So, good going into Crown Jewel tomorrow. I'm loving it. I love how Tiffany Stratton's using this moonsault accordingly. Obviously, we did see her use it a lot in NXT. And then we kind of seen her, yes, use it every match on the main roster, but now she's making it look really good. People has not called it at all, but I think that she's leveling it up for sure. She's getting more hype than ever. It's insane. But yeah, very cool to see. We would see Zarya tell Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to put the title on the line if they aren't scared, which during this backstage segment, both teams looked like they weren't on the same page. So that was interesting. I just hate it, man. I love the team of Zaruka, and I think that the videos they post are insanely funny. Soul is obviously my favorite women's wrestler, so I think I don't know if she's ready to go off on her own. I know she is, but I don't like the thought of sink or swim for Sol Ruka. I think that we need to keep her with her reliable source for as long as we can until she is ready to go up to the main roster. I think that's only right. I think it's only fair to put her here and let her thrive on SmackDown backstage segments and even in some matches. But I think, man, I just hope that they don't throw her in the deep end on SmackDown whenever she's not ready. I know she's ready, but I don't know if the booking's ready for her. Obviously, Road Dogg continuing being the booker for SmackDown, which was announced a couple of days ago. So I just hope that they don't mess her up whenever it is time to come to the main roster. Same with so many of these superstars now, Obafemi, Ethan Page, Trick Williams, all of these stars in NXT, whenever they do decide to come up, I just hope WWE would not fumble them, and I think that's what we're seeing. Melo's not being used properly. It's just all around is not very good right now, but the shows have been pretty good, except for Raw, so I think that it's still a good show to watch. We would see the Street Profits take on the Wyatts for the tag titles, and man, this was probably the most depressing match of the night. I was very disappointed in how this match ended up. I was thinking that we were going to see more miscommunications between the Street Profits, but it was literally just the Wyatts having all of the offense during the match and then picking up the victory. And I think that the reason why this happened was for after the match, the MFTs going on the ropes again and going face-to-face with the Wyatts after the match to tell them they're going after the tag titles. So I think that that's why we spared some time. But, man, it was like not even a 6-minute match. It was super, super short and fast. So I just hate that. I wish that we would have had a little bit longer of a match here just because it was so built up properly. We did see the match, I believe, man, I keep messing this one up because I didn't write it down on my notes here. But we saw them face at a former PLE, and now we seen them go against each other again on a SmackDown card, and they just didn't show out. So I just hate the way we're booking them here. But I am excited to see what the MFTs do. If they're going to win the tag titles, I don't know. We would see Miz in a backstage segment with Kathy Kelly, and he would say that Melo missed. So something I thought I would add just because it is a decently big part in this storyline, just because Miz is fully on ship now with, you want to go against me, we can do that, let's do it. So now we know that rivalry is in full swing. And in the main event, which I thought was surprising to be in the main event, but it was cool. We would see Damian Priest and Aleister Black in a last man standing match. Obviously, this building up for weeks. But one thing I was thinking about while watching this match is, where's R-Truth? Obviously let out the tweet that he didn't go to Perth and that it's going to be a 22-hour drive from Charlotte, North Carolina to there. All this, but where is he really? He's the whole reason why this started. Damian Priest trying to be the backup guy and try to help out R-Truth get his feet back on the ground after returning. And then he just falls off the face of the earth, It just gets on my nerves a little bit thinking about it. But either way, this was a very good match. We would see Aleister hit a crazy Meteora to Damian onto the steps, which was insane. We would see, while fighting in the crowd, Zelina Vega stopping Damian Priest from hitting Aleister, where we would see him hit him with a fireball and then a black mass to put Damian through the table to pick up the victory. Very good. Cinema TV, for sure. I'm so glad that ZELINA and Aleister are together. I think it's the best thing personally to do. I love how they did it. I love how they did it during this match, especially because it's so great. But I'm thinking now, again, like I was saying with Sol Ruka, sink or swim. What do we do with this? Does ZELINA become a non-in-ring wrestler? Damian really has nobody to back him up. But what I would like to see, obviously, this is a complete shot in the dark, but we could bring couples backstage into the spotlight here. Okay, y'all are going to flame me in the comments, but seeing ZELINA team up with Aleister and seeing them come together, obviously them being an in real life couple, I think that it would be really cool. We know Damian and Lola Vice is a couple. I think that it would be really cool to have Lola Vice step up to Zelina Vega and them go at it in a mixed tag match or something. That'd be really cool. I just don't think the main roster is ready for Lola. I know it's not going to happen, but it would be cool if that's a possibility. But yeah, I think that overall, Aleister defeats Damian Priest in a last man standing match. Zelina Vega stops Damian, and the fireball was the most surprising thing. I loved that. But also the positioning. We were backstage fighting not backstage, but fighting in the crowd. And Zelina comes through the crowd relatively slowly and stops Damian. So I thought that was weird. I thought it was definitely going to be through the barricade on the ring or something like that. But I definitely wasn't expecting it. But yeah, I think it was really cool. I loved that. I think that this was a great show tonight. Definitely better than I was expecting. A great go-home show to Crown Jewel. So I'm excited to see what y'all think about it in the comments. But man, this was a very good SmackDown. I hope y'all enjoyed. And one thing I do want to say and clarify, if you guys see me in public, don't be afraid to come up. I will, if y'all want a picture, me to sign anything, whatever, I'm completely fine with it. It does not bother me at all. So whatever, if y'all see me in public, do. I know a lot of y'all said whenever I went to Raw this last time that y'all saw me but didn't come up to me. Just do it, man. Literally, it's completely fine. If anything, it helps my day, makes my day for sure whenever I get to meet you guys in person. So it's very cool to see meet a supporter today. I thought that was really cool. And hope y'all enjoyed SmackDown, most importantly. And like and subscribe. And I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Deuces, deuces.